whenever you write an equation to describe a reaction, you have to make sure it's balanced. That's because of the law of conservation of mass. Essentially what it says is that matter can't be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. So what this means is that you have to have the same number of each atom on the left side and the right side of your equation. So what does a balanced chemical equation tell us? First thing it does is it tells us what elements are involved. Second thing is how they get rearranged. And thirdly, it tells us what amounts to mix them in. Here's an example of how to balance an equation. First, pick an element and count how many you have on each side. So here I've got one sulfur and one sulfur. They're the same number, so that's fine. I don't need to change anything. Now let's check the oxygens. I've got 2 oxygens here and 3 oxygens here. That's not balanced. I need to make them the same amount. So if I've got a 2 on one side and a 3 on the other, my lowest common multiple is 6. So if I put a big 3 out in front, called a coefficient, that gives me 3 times 2, that's 6 oxygens on the left side. In order to get 6 oxygens on the right side, I need to put a big coefficient of 2 out in front. Now you notice that messed up my sulfurs. And now I have 2 times 1, that's 2 sulfurs on the right, only 1 sulfur on the left. So I need to go back and rebalance my sulfurs. Here are some tricks to make your balancing faster. If your equation has polyatomics in it, keep them together as a group if they appear on both sides of the equation. Try and balance your O's and H's last. Things seem to get complicated if you do those first. If you have a situation where you have an odd number of an atom, by adding a side together, try and make it even by putting a 2 in front of the single atom. If you have 2 atoms on one side and 3 on the other, turn them both into 6. Always look for lowest common multiples. And finally, you can use halves or quarters or thirds, balance with a fraction, but you can't leave it in your final answer. You have to have whole numbers. So in order to get rid of the fraction that you used, multiply everything in your equation by the denominator. So if you use a half, multiply everything by 2.